More than 3,000 people are on evacuation orders in that region, and hundreds more are on an alert. There's also a power outage situation in the northern part of that region.
The Shuswap is one of the hardest hit regions in BC. At latest count, more than 150 structures are destroyed.
So if you look to the west, you can see where the fire came across from Scotch Creek, and it came along and traveled this easterly direction along this ridge, going right across and down towards Garland Road. That's one of our clients from the North Shuswap Disaster Relief Society, and we are providing some funds through the Shuswap Community Foundation for the development that's going on over there. And that's also one of the sites of one of the MDS houses. Almost 8 families in this whole area that we have provided support to through the Disaster Relief Society, through the support of the foundation.
Well, somebody paid for it, somebody didn't. But generally, people just stepped up immediately. I was standing here just walking in circles. Basically, when I got back, I was in a daze. And then people showed up and, oh, we got to do this, we have to do that. Okay, because I just couldn't really function right off the bat. Immediately, people just started to help out. And I was probably, I bet I was the first guy here who lost everything, who had a home again. You know, August, September, October, November, I was living in that trailer. And phenomenal people. We just want to help.
We were kicking around a $10,000 gift to the foundation, and at the last minute said, you know what? The need is just growing and growing and growing and growing. And we made a decision to make it $25,000. And we did it fairly quickly within the first couple of days of the wildfire relief, so it could send a message that others could contribute to the same fund. And I'm so pleased with how it's been managed and how it's been led, and even the good work that the foundation did.
Long story short is we saw an opportunity to raise some funds. Preston gets a lot of people turning up at his event he's created, and the car community in general is about helping the community, not just about the cars and the spectators. It's about helping in any way you can in the community, and there's a lot of people there, a lot of spectators and classic car owners that come to these things. So
we pushed the event as much as we could, and with an end result of nearly $60,000. It was amazing to see everyone come together for something like that and raise the amount that we were able to. Our end result, we were hoping to get $10 a car was our goal. If we can get 4 or 5 businesses to help contribute a couple of bucks per car that shows up, we usually get 100 cars, we'll raise $1,000, we'll raise $1,500, something. Anything's better than nothing. At least we can contribute something. And so we started reaching out, landscaping companies and car dealerships and Canadian Tire and all of these people reach out and say, hey, we'll throw in $5 a car. We'll throw in, the one that got me first was I believe it was the GM dealership said, you know what, let's do $10 a car. And that was my goal total. And they just contributed that on their own.
Well, really with the events that we had last summer, like many corporate citizens of Salmon Arm and the Shuswap, we're looking for ways to donate or help, right? And it's overwhelming because you want to do the right thing. You want to make sure that the money gets to the right places. And so, the Shuswap Foundation it just seemed like a natural for us because you guys already represent so many other charities and you handle these things on a daily basis. So, reaching out to you guys and getting you guys to look after the money and making sure it got to the right people that could make the most difference.
When it came to determining how much to give to the Wildfire Relief Fund, whoever was going to look after it was another challenge. We really looked and dug deep as we could, recognizing that the credit union really set the bar well. Like, they opened the door as a great way to donate. We determined as a club that we could donate $15,000 each. And the Chase Club even wanted to be involved, a much smaller club, and they were able to donate another $5,000. So our ultimate goal was $50,000 that we put towards the wildfire relief. One of our clubs was able to get the money out very quickly and was there in response for the immediate things that the community needed. So I think on the check we wrote, it was about $46,000 afterwards.
Through ongoing conversations with CSRD directors, we launched the Emergency Response Fund on August 19th. The directors of the other electoral areas, CG and several others within the regional district, quickly stepped up, contacted the foundation, made their own commitments to assisting with funding from their own discretionary dollars.
A bit of survivor guilt because we didn't know if our house was burned down or not. And when we got back, our house was still up. And we thought, how can we help people? There was 176 structures were burnt. And through the course of putting things inside the local newspaper, we said, who needs help? And we eventually surfaced about 52 people who told us we need help.
Well, I saw a notice on Facebook, and it was a woman that was looking for support in materials or supplies. There were several GoFundMes on Facebook as well, which 99% were very, very legitimate for people just looking for a little bit of money to give them a hand up. We needed to get money into the hands of those that really needed it, that those that couldn't afford insurance, that couldn't get insurance because they lived so far from a fire hall. So I had the great opportunity to join this group.
Because I live in Scotch Creek, I was tasked with the job of coming up with a task force to figure out how to best allocate these funds, which at that time were about $600,000 or $700,000. It's been a real education for me. I hadn't really appreciated the extent of the need here in the North Shuswap, and I've learned a lot about that, and I've learned a lot about how to allocate amongst roughly 50 families.
MDS map for harnessing volunteers to job sites. We have 3 jobs assigned. We have their names. Everything gets chronicled. We tell them where to put their lunches so that we don't get it scrambled when we have volunteers. We have our vehicles sorted out. We have our crew leaders for each job. Then we have our volunteers. It's a pretty extensive discussion on a Sunday night when we brought a whole new week of volunteers in to decide who goes where. And the result is this, and you can see MDS works with manpower. When we needed a 38-foot wall lifted, we just brought all the volunteers in and lifted that wall up, and a big task became a small task. This is our camp. Including in that is our shower trailers, our bunk trailers, and of course many people bring their own private RVs along as they come to volunteer for a week. We usually step into these projects in faith that funding will come. Funding, we never know for sure where it will come from. We have some of our own resources. The Disaster Society has been a very big, significant factor here. Sometimes there's nobody to connect with because there's no society been established, or there's no council that's there because the community is in chaos. It's really wonderful the way we've come in here, and there was society already established, running before us, establishing need that we could just plug into.
Our home was actually further that way, and this green area here is the only remaining unburnt area on the 40 acres, thankfully. Probably 95% of the property was completely burnt. And because of the closeness of the forest and we're on solar, it was just undefendable. So we moved out some stuff. We got the tractor out and the vehicles, and we got the RV out of that addition. And then everything burnt. It just the ashes completely gone. So we were left with pretty much just our vehicles and the RV by that fall. The community was amazing to the thrift store and the churches to bring winter clothing and stuff. We had no place to store it. And that's when the society came, the Disaster Society, and they bought us that sea can, so we had a place to put stuff. They bought us the reefer trailer. We were able to save the grain mill that we have as a business. The facility burnt, but the mill is okay, so they bought that for us because that is really our only source, or will be our only source of income for a while until the farm recovers. They came in at a moment when we really needed the help. We really needed that support to know that to have our stuff out of the weather for the winter. And it was just, I can't express enough how grateful we were to have that help at that time. It not only gave us the material assistance, but just the emotional support that came with it.
We've decided that we're going to stay and carry on, get our yard back up and running with all our plants and our shrubs and fruit trees and everything. And I had an electrician come in and he got my power back up and running and let me pay him later, which was phenomenal. Same with Bud's water well. He came in and he let me put all the parts and everything, and he put it all together for me and helped me.
Things are going really well. It's only been 3 weeks and we're putting walls up already, so it's beyond exciting. It's gone from, you know, things not looking very good at all to extreme joy.
Yeah, so this whole side, all the Tyvek was melted completely. All of the windows were kind of looked like Salvador Dali. They were melting, and there's some melted parts of the heat pump, but luckily most of the house was still there. We were lucky they replaced all of the labor and windows so that we could have a house to live in, and as well as the Tyvek siding. Yeah, well, there were quite a few root holes and large boulders rolling down, and so we had this barrier here installed that's going to keep everything safe. This is a utility shed that was built due to the generosity of the North Shuswap Recovery Fund, and it basically is going to hold the water, hot water tank, pressure tank, and the electrical so that we can at least hook up a trailer for the time being.